thank you so much for coming. I mean, I really didn't think that I was gonna end up doing this my senior year, so it's a really great kickoff, I think, for like the rest of my art career, and I'm really happy that all of you can be a part of it. I guess I will also start by kind of talking about my work. But I take these stuffed animals, and they're like my friends, just like we all got friends. But I feel like stuffed animals are sort of like the original friend, you know? I didn't really go and hang out with a bunch of like kids when I was like 4. I just hung out with my stuffed animals, did some crafty art projects and all that stuff. And I think like that's kind of what ended up inspiring me to do all these pieces, is because like they're like your original friends, and the substitution of friendship in stuffed animals is like it's something that's in like every culture. We all have something that substitutes other people, and I think that it's sort of highlighting an idea of loneliness in everyday life in everyone. And we've all like felt loneliness in some way or form, but I think that like using these stuffed animals to like highlight that at a younger age and sort of bring it forward as I've grown and like developed as an artist it's been a very reflective experience. And so like this whole process of taking my art and reflecting back on my younger years has really like allowed me to like look back and take some perspective on something that I really sort of take for granted now. I mean, these guys were just hanging out in like a big bag under my bed for a little while because I was afraid of it. Once I got older, I didn't want all my friends to be like, oh, you have all these stuffed animals, but I didn't want to get rid of them. So I sort of repurposed them and studied them, and yeah. And so the two-dimensional pieces that you sort of see around here are the pieces that I started working on first. So these pieces are sort of what I started working on first. I started looking at stuffed animals and sort of like making something else out of them and trying to like figure out what I was seeing. And I knew that there was something there, but I couldn't quite figure it out. And I was abstracting them, and I was like looking at them, but it wasn't what I was like coming to realize as I was working on these projects was that like the stuffed animals themselves had something that kept bringing me back to wanting to draw them more. And so the pieces kind of got a little bit more and like anatomically, like studying sort of like the design of the pieces, and I decided that I would take it a little step further and do my own sort of studies here, and eventually making some sausages out of it. And so the whole process also has like, as I was taking these stuffed animals and trying to figure out what made them so special, I was also trying to figure something else out about myself. And I mean, and like, I don't know, like, I think it has really like opened my eyes to sort of figure out some things about myself that I didn't really realize were there, but also that doesn't quite mean that I've completely figured it all out, because I'm still but yeah, so the process sort of goes from me taking the stuffed animals, sort of planning out what I'm going to do, studying them a little bit more, and then executing a process where I take their skins and I stretch them out, and I'm repurposing their pieces to sort of make them into something else. And at one point I realized that, you know, maybe I don't want them to be sausages. Maybe I want my stuffed animals back. So I sort of repurposed my stuffed animal back into a pillow. Maybe just to like, not to put it back in its like original form, but to like put it in a new form with the memory there. So yeah, these are skinning chops actually. I don't know if any of you guys go out and skin animals every day, but most skinning chops are made out of wood, and it's kind of gory, but they like skin the animal and it makes it easier for like the blood to drain out or whatever. So what I did was I sort of made these body sacks of my stuffed animals as though they'd been skinned, and so they're laying there with a little bit more of a contemporary look. and a little bit, but you know, still functional in a way. Maybe. Well, and you know, like that's sort of the turning point of the piece because like it goes like from theoretical to a lot more like tactile. And I mean, you see these balloons here; those are kind of where I decided to. That's where these are the stuffed animals in their original form, even though they are in balloons. It was ridiculous trying to get them in those balloons, but but I blew them up in these big balloons, and eventually they shriveled up and they shrank. And I sort of liked them there because I thought it was like a little home. It was sort of safe, and that's sort of like the turning point, I think, because then I was like, well, they're sort of suffocated in there, so I guess we'll figure out what happens next. And so then at that point, you know, I sort of decided, well, what am I going to do with the pieces? Like, what am I going to do with them? I mean, they've already been like sacrificed at this point, you know. So I made these skinning troughs, and that's where like I kind of go into the skinning, and then yeah, and like the repurposing and things. And finally, at the end, you know, I sort of like. That is the final piece there, I think, for sure. But that's an urn where I cremated one of my stuffed animals. And in the end, you know, like the whole project, I think, ended on a good note because I sort of realized that I appreciated my friend for, you know, being there and like kind of like being a stuffed I appreciated my stuffed animal for all of his sacrifices for my artwork. So I decided to honor him in this way. And there he goes.